Hello, hello, hello there, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. Well, today is Sunday, the first Sunday of this new month of November, and I want to do my Sunday walkabouts, and there are a lot of things to show you that are happening here in the garden on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I'm going to show you what has happened in the morning because we've experienced daylight savings time, so we're all falling back. But now in the afternoon, this is what the garden looks like. So let's take a walk around and I will show you some of the things that are happening in the garden in the morning. That happened during the morning, but let's take a little quick walk around here now in the afternoon. Thank you so much. And if you have not subscribed to Catherine's Garden and Home, what's keeping you back? Come on, subscribe and join this wonderful gardening community where we gather together, especially on Wednesdays around 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to talk and to chat. So looking forward to seeing you here at Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. That's right. All right, let's walk around and see what's happening in the garden on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. The sun's glow on the garden is just so spectacular. I do love my garden on a Sunday morning. It just looks so good, and especially when the sun is shining. It just looks heavenly to me. And I'm just really pleased with how it has come together, even in spite of all of the work that is here with cleaning the leaves and raking and then also removing the branches and things that are on the ground here, in the different beds, clearing the beds. It's just really great to see the cleanup, because as much as I like a naturalistic style garden, I also like an orderly garden. And so at this time we're able to see the bones and structure of the garden and how things are put together here in my little garden. It's such a wonderful thing. I do enjoy it. And I am one who loves the sun. I just react to sunshine. And so to see the sun coming through, even though my favorite tree doesn't have any leaves on it anymore, it's okay. So welcome to the first Sunday in November. Welcome to the first Sunday. Could you believe it? After November, there's December, and then we start a whole new year, 2024. But we need to enjoy this year, because it's not over yet. There's still so much more. I really need to tackle that bed where the container is and clean that up, because I think that I am going to place those daffodils and tulips in that container, and it's going to make a great difference, especially in the spring, because it's going to be great. First, I'll have the trumpet tulips, 25 of them. I just have 25 of them popping, not tulips, daffodils, popping up first, with the daffodils that should come up in the back bed and then all around the garden. And then to have the red tulips, because there are a lot of red tulips already in the bed, to be there in that bed as well, to really pack it out. And my garden looks really good in the spring with red and the green from the grass and the fresh shoots with the earth. You'll see much more of the dirt and the earth, so it's going to look really pretty. Yeah, and I like the brightness of a Sunday morning, so I hope you're enjoying this as well. Even though there's a lot of glare, it's okay because that's how the sun shines on the garden, and it's just spectacular. You know, that one thing the garden reminds me is that change is inevitable, that things are going to change, and that you just have to learn how to adapt and accept it. These morning walkabouts are just enjoyable for me because everything is just so fresh and awake, and especially with the sun, it just makes it so enjoyable. It's like the morning is calling me, come on out, come and visit with me, come and see about me. So here I am. So in this container here, I still have the roots of the plants that I put in here, and it's amazing. Now that is the impatiens, and because I guess of where it's located, it's still growing. But then you can see my mint is in there, and that is a perennial, so that will stay and that will come back next year. So I'm going to leave it out here, and it survived. This pot didn't crack or anything during the winter last winter, so I think it'll do just fine here on this pedestal. In the afternoon, it is much more cloudy. There is some sun off and on, but it has a different feel. It's a nice afternoon. It truly is feeling good in the garden. And just looking at all of the different things that we have done, it just makes me feel happy to know that I could just help to groom the garden for the next season to come, which would be in 2024. So we're cleaning up the garden, and we are taking stock of what needs to be added, what needs to be taken away, what needs to be improved here in my garden. So this is what I consider the backside of my garden. Oh, look at the bird over there. I don't know if you could see it, but the sparrows love this area. And my collard greens are just looking so good from the back. You could tell that they're getting the sun coming from the opposite direction because the leaves just face that way. But they look healthy from back here, and that is good. And they will last throughout the season, even through the winter. And then this is my tree, my fig tree, and you could tell that it got a little attacked there from the frost on those top leaves, but the others look good. And last year what I did was that I had cut some of these branches and I put them in water in the house and used it as decoration, you remember, as a bouquet, a decoration on my table. And those branches then rooted and became trees. I'll show you them as we move up the bed here. But I'm thinking of doing the same thing again for Wednesday when we meet to cut the branches and use them, if they last, in the house as a bouquet. And here is the front of the kale. I do like to come and look at this part of the garden, which I call my kitchen garden, because here I was able to grow a lot of the greens and also some of my herbs and things. And you can still see that the collard greens are doing well here. So I do like walking up and looking at this part of the garden. And then, of course, my jewel garden area here. The kale is just looking so good. I am just so impressed with my kale. Do you hear the birds singing? Yeah, they love this area. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 plants. And they are so beautiful. When they look like this, so picturesque, I want to just leave them. I don't want to actually harvest them, but I will. I will harvest them. But for right now, they are spectacular. They make me so very happy here in the garden. It is a lot of work, but I'm so glad that I have my husband who is very helpful, and he helps me with the cleanup. So we've been able to get a lot done in the garden. But I do like this section and this part of the garden. The best way to deal with the garden is section by section. And so this front area, it receives a lot of sun, and I believe, well, that's why things are still green. So we haven't done a lot of cutting back things just yet. This is my jewel garden area also. I have a lot of perennials in this section. In the spring, I will have tulips, alliums, and other ground cover. So it's hard to move things right now, but we will be, because as you can see, things are dying back. But I just love this little color of the marigolds. Now these marigolds were from seeds that I had in the past, and just from a box of seeds that I'd gotten from the Dollar Tree. I had planted them out, and I saved the seeds from 2 years ago, and I found those seeds. And then I placed the seeds here, and now I am enjoying this beautiful bouquet to me of marigolds. And you could see that there were like 2 different types of marigold flowers here. These French marigolds. So beautiful. I love this area because I'm able to grow my roses, and I really love this rose. I do like this little walkway where I can walk up and see what is happening in each bed a little bit more closely. So let's do that. Let's walk up through the bed. I did enjoy my phlox, the purple phlox. I planted them this year right here, 2 patches, one and the other patch over here. And they were spectacular. I enjoyed them, and I hope that they will continue to spread and show up next year. And look at my rose. My beautiful rose. This is the mother of pearl rose, that I had bought 2 years ago from Lowe's. It had died back in the spring, but it has come back and given me its last beauty. But here's a bud right here. Now at the bottom I have this ground cover. That is dead nettle, variegated dead nettle, and in the spring it's going to show up and really add a nice layer of color with little pink flowers. Now this I have to remove. This is my zinnia. I'm going to have to cut that back. So here is one of the fig trees that I had propagated from last year when I cut the stem, and then I put it in water and it rooted during the winter months. I put it in its own little pot there, and then I placed it in the bed here for the spring and summer, and it's grown to this size. Isn't it beautiful? That I think is such a blessing. And then here, this is hyssop. I planted this from seed. It had beautiful purple like flowers here. I'm hoping that it will self-seed because I think it's an annual, but it's a cedar as well because it's part of like the mint family. So hopefully it will spread. And then talking about mint, this is mountain mint, and I got this from seed. Also, this is its first year, and I put it in the pot over here. But you can see that it has rooted in, and it is starting to grow again and spread. So I have to put that pot in a good location so that it can overwinter, and then next year plant it out in the garden. And I have my geraniums here that I need to move. Also, look at how my hydrangea did over here. This is a little lime light hydrangea from Proven Winners, and it's growing, which is great. I need it to continue to grow up, and I love the flower. Now this spirea is a workhorse. I love this spirea. However, it is a little bit too big, so I'm glad that it's dying back because I'm going to cut it low so that it won't overtake the hydrangea. And also I have the sedum back there, like how it's doing here. But it was just beautiful this year. I just enjoyed it, and I'm enjoying its fall colors. It just has this kind of fall look in the spring as well as in the fall. The leaves turn this sort of chartreuse color, and then it has pink flowers. Just a nice plant. And back here I have my oak leaf hydrangea, and it is now turning color, but it's growing and I'm very pleased with it. So when I come in, I'm going to need to remove all of the debris, give it its space so that it can grow up. And it's going to be a big shrub, which is great. And then here I have my rose bush. This is David Austin rose called Olivia, and she did very well. And I'm hoping that she'll come back next year. But I think this location is really good for her because it's a protected location. I think it will do well. Now this is amazing right here. At least I think so. That I have these strawberries in this container. It just came from a runner, and I put it in there, a couple of runners or baby ones, and look at it. It's looking really, really good. So next year I'm looking forward to the strawberries. Yeah, so it's been a wonderful time here, and I do enjoy this garden bed of perennials and just seeing all of this. There isn't much that I have to say about this side of the garden, except that I do love my arborvitaes that are growing so tall. And you have to realize that they've been in the border for about a good 15, 20 years now. And they have really shown up well here. I love the euonymus. They went in also at the same time. And then I added the grass here, my zebra grass, which is looking really, really nice. And then I have my lilac bush. So this side is different from the other side. It went in first, and it's really held up well. I have my rhododendrons there. This rose bush here, my knockout red rose bush, suffered and died back really hard, but I'm so glad to see it attempting to return. Even give me a red blossom there, or bloom. And then finally, this bed, I put in tulips. It has a lot of alliums already from the past. And this year I added daffodils, which I didn't do before, but I decided to add the daffodils. So this is what the front bed looks like. Just with a lot of structure. And this is going to add for winter interest here in this side of the garden. You know that one thing the garden reminds me is that change is inevitable, that things are going to change, and that you just have to learn how to adapt and accept it. And many times we think that change is a bad thing. Look, I just love how my pumpkin looks here, that I have not removed it yet. It's hard. So I guess that one's going to be used as decoration. If it doesn't survive, it's serving its purpose here. And then the back garden. Now the back garden, here, this vegetable plot, we were using it as a vegetable plot. It is not getting enough sun, so we're going to have to think through exactly what we're going to plant back here and what it will look like. But we are using it to compost, and that's a good thing. So if you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. How are you doing with your garden cleanup? And are you enjoying this day? We've had such a beautiful morning here in my urban English style cottage garden. And I'm just so happy to be able to share it with you. I'm glad that you've come to join me on this Sunday walkabout, the first Sunday in November.